Hey guys, if you want to watch me build this and then build this, stay tuned to this video. Hey guys and gals, welcome back to another Vinny Built Structures video. Wow, I haven't said that phrase in a long time. Anyhow, you guys know that every once in a while Roy Hardwick, Container Man 68, visits with me when he's here in Phoenix. And the reason why he's here in Phoenix is because he delivers to a place that's pretty much right across the street from Mo Best's yard. And if I'm wrong about that, Roy, you can go ahead and correct me, but from what I understand, it's right in the same vicinity. So, with that being said, I decided, since I have enough real estate across the street from my yard, that I was going to go ahead and build this company. This company is called 2M Products, and I don't know exactly what they do, but I mean, it's going to be there. It's not going to be in the right place, Roy, so don't get all twisted out of shape. I'm putting it where it can best be seen, but you'll have a parking lot to unload your stuff rather than in the middle of the street, so there's a plus for you. Anyhow, there's going to be two parts to this. I decided to do a build start to finish of there's two structures involved. I do a build start to finish, part A, and it'll be the same thing for part B, a build start to finish. So, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get on with the rest of this video. This is going to be part one, and it's going to be the office building. So anyhow, with all of that being said, let's go ahead and get on with the rest of the video. So stay tuned and we'll be right back. Alright guys, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut out all our pieces on this build, and this is, like I said earlier in the intro, this is going to be the office part of this build. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut this bottom section out right here. That's got, I'm going to call it a valance. That's going to be on the top of the building, across the top of the building, on all the walls. So I'm just going to cut that out and put it on the side, and then this is going to be a scrap piece right here. Well, not a scrap piece, but a piece that's not going to be used for this project. And then we'll start cutting the walls out. So, with that being said, we're going to use my clamp system that I always show you guys that I use. And also, like I tell you guys all the time, when you start a new project, always use a new blade, and that's what I got. I have a brand new blade in my Exact knife. And let's see, will this fit now? It will. And go ahead and secure it. We don't tighten this yet until we put the other clamp on there, just to make sure everything is right on the line. And then we can put the other clamp on, and then we can tighten it down. And we're looking good right there. And I'll tighten this guy down. And then I could do this bend and snap, but I don't feel like doing it on this building. At least not for this part. But we should be just about through. And there we go. So now we'll just take this piece and we'll put it on the side. And you guys know that I like to use the number 175 for my supports. On this one, we're going to actually use a combination of the 175 and the 177. And the reason for that is because this piece of plastic is a little bit warped. So I want to make sure that the walls stay straight, so we're going to use the heavier ones to support the walls. Alright, so now we'll start cutting our walls out. The same process. Clamp her on down. Now these here I might do the snap and bend. go. Now this, I'm not going to throw this piece away. This is a good piece to do a smaller building or something like that. So I never throw stuff away. I think I told you guys probably every one of my scratch builds that I've done. Alright, now we're going to get ready to cut the first wall out, and that's going to be the front wall. That's number one, that's the front wall. And you know, I tell you, I always leave a space in between my cuts just to make sure that I don't, if I forget to calculate the thickness of the blade, this helps me with that. So I don't have to really worry about that. Yes, and it's a couple more extra cuts, but to me, it's worth it to get the walls the same exact sizes. So that's why I do it that way. Alright, so now we're ready to do our second wall. And this building is going to be an 80-foot square building. We determined that it is actually a square building, so unfortunately I had to make it a bit bigger than what I really wanted. But because of the door and window configuration, I had to go to this size. But it's alright, I got plenty of real estate for it. I'm not worried about it. And it's also going to be a different color, as you can see in the pictures that I put up there. Instead of the regular gray and beige, this building is going to be blue with some white trim. So that should look pretty cool. I mean, I do have one blue building on my way out now, and that's Mariani, and it's because that is their real color, is blue. Alright, so got the second wall cut out, and now we'll go for the third wall. Let's do this side first. Alright, we've got enough to do the snapper. And we'll go ahead and snap that. Wall number 3. And now all we need to do is cut that one little piece off right there, and we'll have all 4 walls cut. And there you go, all 4 walls cut out. And with luck being on my side, they'll all be the same size. So let's see. Would you look at that? All 4 walls cut and exact. Yes, sir. Alright, so now we got those cut. We'll go ahead and do the doors and windows. So I'm going to take a break, and we'll be back in a few minutes. Alright guys, now we come to the fun stuff. Cutting windows and doors. Just love it. Anyhow, I was going to do this, let's see if I can get it up here and show you guys. I was going to do this window with the panes in it and everything like that. But the prototype just has these huge pieces of pane glass in here. So that's basically what I'm going to do. I'll just do it the same way. I'll just trim it and put the acetate behind it, and hopefully it'll look good. Anyhow, we're going to start off with the doors, because the doors will be the easiest thing, because as I told you last time, I found out that this guy is the actual size of the doors. And the doors I'll be using Teacher Group steel doors. If I can get up there to show it to you. I don't know if you can be able to see that. Then yeah, it's Teacher Group. And my tool is the exact same size, and so we'll commence doing that. And once we get the doors and windows cut out, we can go ahead and start putting this square building together. So, just go ahead and take this guy and put him in the door drawing that I have here and commence the cut. Let's see how well that fits in there. So this is the door, and this is the back side, guys, in case I didn't tell you that earlier. And take the door, and I'm going to have to do just a bit of filing, but other than that, that door fits in there perfect. So, with that being said, I'll go ahead and do the rest of the doors off camera, and then we'll start doing the windows. So we'll be back in a little bit. Alright guys, what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing with the windows. We're going to clamp it down so I can get my lines as straight as possible. And so we'll begin with that. And I have marked off, I don't know if you can see these tick marks of where I have to cut between. So you just be very careful when we do this. Alright, so that's the three of them. I'm going to flip this around and do the others, and then just cut the windows out, and I'm going to do all of that off camera, and I'll bring you back when all the holes are cut. So, we'll be right back. Alright guys, what you see now is all the windows and doors cut out. As close to the prototype as I possibly can get it without going out there with a tape measure and measuring stuff. Anyhow, the next step for this is going to be putting the supports on these walls. First of all, we're going to do the bottom. And because these are so warped, I'm going to be using this number 189 styrene strip and use it on its edge this way rather than flat. And I'm going to put them on there like that, and hopefully this will take the warp out of the plastic. So anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and do that on 3 of the walls. The front wall I got to figure out because there's really not enough room down here at the bottom of the window, so I may have to do one here, and one here. So we'll see. Anyhow, let me continue on with this, and we'll see how it goes. Seems to be working a little bit better than using the smaller stuff. So like I said, we'll do 3 of these walls, and as you can see, well, I don't know if you can see it or not, but I also have where I'm going to put the roof supports, and that's 3 feet down from the top. So let's go ahead and do the second piece here. Now, I'm not going to assemble this building right away. I'm going to let this dry up really good before I start to assemble the building. And I'm going to do corner supports on here just like I always do. And I got this one marked back B with, I want to make it the back of the building, and the reason why is I made a mistake. Yes, I made a mistake, and I cut this one about a ½ foot too short. And I don't want to waste any more plastic, so I'm going to put this as the back wall, and nobody will ever see it. And once you put scenic stuff up against it, you won't notice the little gap that's down there. Anyhow, just to let you guys know that I do make mistakes, and you just need to figure out to overcome the problem. Again, I use my glass, because my glass is pretty flat, to make sure that the wall is all the way down to the floor. Alright, so now we got those 3 done. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take the 2 side walls, because the side walls are going to go inside the front and rear walls. And I tell you that all the time, to be sure that you do that correctly so you don't have a cockeyed building. Anyhow, for that, we're going to use my, no, you know what? I think we'll use these here. The 177s for the corner bracing also. Because this building, this is going to need a lot of support because of the warpage. So, what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to go ahead and put this in here and measure it. Eyeball it anyhow. And we're going to cut a few, we're going to cut 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. And we're going to use my chopper for that. Usually I'd be using the 175 for these corner braces, but this building, the plastic is so warped, I want to make sure that it's not warped when I put it together. So we're going to use a little bit heavier on all the supports that I'm going to be doing. Same thing with the roof section. I'm going to use these 177s for the roof, and that will also give me a little bit more strength to keep it straight. Alright, and there we go. There's my 4. Alright, so these are going to be the walls that go inside, and so we'll go ahead and take this, and we're going to put these on the edge also, just to make sure that it stays as straight as possible. Seems like that heavy support down at the bottom is working. Feels like it's pretty flat. And so the only thing I need to worry about now is the front wall, because there's very little space that I could put any of these supports in there except for the roof. Alright. Alright, so I got these two walls pretty much covered. Now what we're going to do is I already pre-cut the roof sections, and the roof sections we're just going to lay flat. I think there's going to be enough support in there just to take care of it the way it is. So let's go ahead and put some, well, let me see. We'll lay it flat, yeah. Alright, so we'll go ahead and put some glue on here. La-di-da-di-da. Take this, and now the line I drew is 3 feet from the top, so we're going to put this at the bottom of the line. Now, you can see this piece here is pretty warped, so I'm hoping that this one little piece right here will take care of that. Maybe we'll put this front one on edge to give it just that little extra, or maybe yeah, we'll see how it works out. We'll see how it works out. This might be as far as I'm going to go with this video, because I want all this stuff to dry up before I actually start doing any more to it. So we'll see how that goes here in a few minutes. Alright, well, it seems like that's going to hold it pretty flat. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to cut this video. And I'm going to give this a few hours to dry up, and then maybe we'll just start assembling and see how it's going to look assembled. I still need to figure out how I'm going to support the bottom of this. I may just put some small random pieces in here away from the doors and the windows. I'm hoping that all of these do their job and keep some of the warpage out of this. So anyhow, alright guys, I thought since this is a pretty simple structure to go ahead and finish putting the 4 walls together in this video, and then we'll save all the trim work and putting the doors and all the window stuff in for later on. So with that being said, as you can see, I got all my supports on there, and it wound up to be a pretty flat piece of plastic, so my efforts were well worth it. Anyhow, we're going to go ahead and start gluing this together, and we'll see how it's going to work. So, with that being said, get the old trusty glue out. Don't be afraid to make all these minor adjustments as you go along, guys. It's part of the game. Of course, I won't get this 100% square until I have all 4 walls together. I measured the walls; they are all exactly the same, so it should come out to be square. But I'm just showing you what you guys need to go through when you do a scratch build to make sure everything is nice and square and looks pretty when it's finished. Alright, so now I think we probably can let this go and let it and stand it down. Attach the back half. I'm not going to use the glass this time. I'm just going to eyeball it to make sure it's straight. This way I could do it while it's sitting here. Yeah, that's better. Just do it that way. So, I think I told you guys that the color of this building is going to be blue. And that's cool because Mariani is blue, and those are actual prototype colors, and it's better than the beige and the gray of most all other industrial buildings are. Alright, we're going to let that dry up, and then we'll install the last wall. And I'll go get a piece of plastic. I want to measure out the roof and see if we got a piece of plastic that we could stick a temporary roof in there. And then I'll show you guys where it's going to go on the layout. And Roy, you may not like the location, but to view the building, it's going to be better off in the spot that I'm going to put it in. So don't get all huffy when you say it's not in the right place. I know it's not going to be in the right place, so that's all that matters. And like Steve Brown says, it's my railroad. There we go. That looks pretty, like it's squaring up pretty good. And then this piece here will just fit right in there, hopefully. Just like that. And pretty much we got the building together. Alright, so as soon as it's dried up a little more, I'm going to twist it around a little bit so I can do the front part here, and then we'll let it dry up. And in the meanwhile, I'm going to go get a piece of plastic and see if we have enough to do a roof, which I'm pretty sure I do, and we'll take it from there. So stay tuned, and we'll be back in a few minutes. Alright, well, in my scrap pile I had this nice piece of styrene, and it's already painted on one side, so all I need to do is measure it after I put the 4th wall in here, and we'll cut it out, and we'll have a roof of this, and then I'll show you where it's going to go on the layout. So with that being said, let's go ahead and put some glue on this here, and proceed to finish the 4 walls. Actually, I can use part of that for a foundation for this building also. That's a good idea. I was just thinking of that as I was holding this piece and saying, I need a foundation for this. So we're just going to hold this until the glue sets up a bit. Make a couple of adjustments as we go along. And I'll tell you, just by eyeball, it looks pretty square to me. But we'll do the old carpenter's corner to corner and see how close we are. So, I know this is the boring part. It's like watching paint dry, right? But, you know, I gotta hold it, make sure it stays where I put it. Make sure the corners are nice and even with each other. Because I don't want to put any corner moldings on this one. I just want to let it go metal to metal. And we'll see how that works out. Alright, well, that's looking pretty good, actually. Yeah, okay. So, what I'm saying is, if I measure from this corner to this corner, and I measure from this corner to this corner, the measurement should be the same. So, that'll tell me if we have a square or not. So we'll put that there. I'm going to use the metric. It's a lot easier to read. Alright, so from that corner to this corner, we have 215 millimeters. And now let's see what we got from this corner to this corner. And from this corner to this corner, we have exactly 215 millimeters. So basically, I'm looking at a square box, and it worked out good. So anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and measure up a piece of this for the roof, and possibly even a piece for the foundation, and we'll go from there. So stay tuned, and I'll be back in a few. Alright guys, here's the office building for that 2N as in Nancy industry that Roy delivers to. Came out perfectly square, which I was shooting for. The roof is in there. I'm going to use this roof, even though it's gray. I might leave it like that for now. Alright guys, you're getting real close to finishing up the first part of this build for the 2M business that's going to be across the street from my Mobez yard. Anyhow, what I've done so far is I had added the trim around all the windows. The doors will go in after the paint job. Also, since this is the, or used to be, the total width of the plastic, which is 6 inches, so this piece would be 6 inches also. And I wasn't counting on it, but when I wanted to mount this, it was the same size and it would have had a terrible corner. So what I had to do was, in actuality, was trim the front and rear wall down by 2 millimeters, and that gave me this piece to be a full 6 inches to go over the edges. I hope you're following me so far. Then I wanted it to be a standout from the building. I didn't want to sit just flush on this, so what I did was I used this number 122, and I put it up in there behind there to stand it off the wall by that 1 millimeter. But when I got to the sidewalls, they had to overlap this piece here, so I had to actually double those number 22s up to make it a 40 by 40, and so everything worked out. Now, because I extended the front by that much and the rear by the same amount, I had to make this side piece longer. So I actually had a piece of scrap, well, not a piece of scrap, I'll explain where I got this piece from. And I extended this side piece enough to cover the end walls. And where I got that piece for scrap was on this side here, because this side here I'm only going to 3 inches, half the width, because the warehouse part is going to come right in there like that. And so now today I need to go to my local hobby shop and see if they have the same plastic, which is the 4083 novelty siding. And I just got back from Walmart, and I decided that this is going to be the paint color we're going to do, and it's called Spa Blue. When I went to Walmart, there was so many blues to choose from. I decided that this one would be the best suited for this building and closest to the prototype. I also picked up Canada is flat black for 94 cents. Come on, guys, if you're just going to do some, like, a parking lot or something like that, this is all you need. And you just put a dull coat over the dull paint, and it'll be pretty good. And also, I didn't remember if I had any white, so I went ahead and bought some acrylic white. I might do the trim on the building. I'm not sure because it's so small, and my hand isn't steady enough to do it, but we'll see. Anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and paint this building and install the acrylic and install the doors, and this build will be done. And I'll put it on the layout, and I'll show you what it's going to look like on the layout. And then in part 2, we'll do the warehouse part. Anyhow, we'll get back to you in a little bit right after it's painted. Talk to you guys in a little bit. Alright guys, what you're looking at here is the office of 2M Company, 100% complete. And as you can see, I've got the doors in and the window glazing in. And I'll show you that. You can see the reflection, but they are not permanent. And the reason why they're not permanent is because when I sprayed this, the underneath here is still white, so I'm going to have to reshoot that. And then also, this has got a gloss finish on it, and I'm going to go ahead and hit it with a dull coat. So I'll be able to take out the glazing and the doors when I do that. Anyhow, we'll start on this side here, and as you can see, I got that. I'm going to call it a valance. I don't know what else to call it, but right now, to me, that's a valance. It only goes halfway back on this side because the other building is going to butt up right in between the back of the building and this end piece here. And again, like I told you, I wanted it to stand off the building, so I showed you guys how I did that. And on this side here is the side that I extended, and you could barely see the little joint that's in there. And it's going to be in a position where you're not going to be able to see it anyhow. And we'll go ahead around the back, and here's the back side. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with the roof yet. I don't know if I'm going to do the masking tape bit, or if I'm going to do the sandpaper bit, or just regular gravel on top of it. I'm not sure yet. But anyhow, for now, this is part 1, and the building is 100% complete, and I did it all in one video, as a couple of you guys suggested that I do. Now the last part of this video is I'm going to show you this on the layout with a proxy building sitting next to it, so you get an idea of what's going to be happening. So stay tuned, let me change the camera angles, and we'll be back in a minute. Alright guys, this is where that building is going to be sitting. It's right across the street, the main entrance to Mo's Yard. And as you can see, it's across 19th Avenue. And I forgot the name of that street that's right there, but it also is right across the street from Smith Pipe and Steel. Which is okay, I mean, I don't care. But I wanted to put the building here because of all the detail that I put on it. I want that to be towards the front so everybody can see that. So there'll be a driveway probably there in the street. There'll be a driveway to go in, and then there'll be another driveway maybe around where that telephone pole is, so you can do like an in and out type deal. I don't know yet, we'll see. But anyhow, I'm pretty sure it's going to be like a blacktop in there. And so we'll see how this goes. Anyhow, I hope you guys and gals enjoyed this build from start to finish. Part 1 of the 2M project. Stay tuned for part 2. And as always, your questions, comments, input, subs, shares, and likes are always welcome. For now, that's all, folks. BNSF 6951 out.